Great to see everybody again. Feel like it's been a while. Hard to believe at the same time. It's only been, I think, 80 days since we finished up last season. So really proud of the effort that our guys have put in, leading us up until this point to get on the grass, and today was a great day. Also want to recognize just what's going on our campus. Great weekend, Vols basketball, Coach Barnes and team. Their performances over last weekend were phenomenal, a lot of fun to watch. Excited to see them as they embark on the Sweet 16 here later this week. Sure, a lot of you guys will be traveling. Looking forward to tonight's game, getting a chance to watch Kelly and her team play. They're ready to make a run at the Sweet 16 too, and shoot ball, softball is off to a great start, top 5 in the country, and playing extremely well. So a lot of positive things going on here on Rocky Top, and I think it speaks to the culture inside of this athletic department and this university. Excited about all of our spring sports, and so I'll open it up to questions.
Coach,
Where's Jimmy? Come on.
Year 3, and I know every team is different. How is this one different? How much more depth do you have? How different does it feel rolling into the spring with this team?
Yeah, I think for you guys, you walk out there, you can see the difference in depth really at every position. The new guys, the young guys that we've added, length, athleticism, size on the offensive and defensive lines. Much deeper than we've been. Skill spots, same thing. For us, this spring we're truly going to be able to get reps for an entire roster of guys. And, year 1, we were a shell of just numbers, but athletes on the grass that we are today. And so that allows you to, increase the number of reps that you're going to get during the spring. And it also creates a ton of competition and urgency from the meeting rooms to what you're doing on the practice field. And, the 7 weeks that we had before spring break have been great. Great competition. Guys made a bunch of strides, changing their bodies, starting to learn our schemes. But today is day 1, putting the helmets on and getting out there and doing some things for real.
How willing do you think Nico is to take coaching, to take instruction, and how will you determine how fast to push him in spring?
Well, he's going to be pushed extremely quickly. Just look at where we're at the quarterback position. So great urgency is going to be needed for him. He's extremely coachable. He's a guy that's, from the moment that he stepped foot on campus, that's bowl preparation to coming back here end of January when we started the winter semester. Has been phenomenal. He's got great urgency. He cares a great deal about learning his craft, learning our offense, but learning his craft at the quarterback position. Takes coaching extremely well. He resets, moves on to the next play at a really high level. He's come in, he's worked. Guys believe in him, and I'm just talking about how he carries himself. And slowly you've seen him start to grow into taking more ownership. He's still really young, but excited to have these 15 days with him.
You referenced the basketball team earlier, and so much was made of after the win about having older guys, experienced men versus younger guys. But in today's modern day of college athletics, when kids don't play early, they tend to want to run towards the portal. So how, as a coach, do you balance trying to get them to that point where Kurt's had 3 or 4 years with a guy versus playing them too soon?
Well, I do think the development of the athletes that we have here has been shown in the first couple of years. What we do on the strength side of it, developing the athlete specific to his position. You've seen the way that they've performed, at pro days, at combines. So I don't think you ever give up on the development of your roster. At the end of the day, everybody that steps foot on this campus day 1, you better have the mentality and the approach that I'm competing to be the starter right now here today. If you do anything less than that, you're cheating yourself, you're cheating the program. You're not going to be ready when your opportunity comes. At the same time, for the 100 125 guys that sit in our team room, it's their responsibility, it's their job to prove that they're going to play at a championship level. When you do that, then it's our job as coaches to find a role that's going to allow you to play at a really high level and help us win football games. So that's what these 15 days are all about. Don't make the same mistake twice. Reset from play to play. Grow every single meeting and every opportunity that you have on the field. The young guys inside of our program, man, they're going to make it, and everybody should, but they're going to make a ton of strides in the 15 days. The first 5 are not going to be as good as the second 5, aren't going to be as good as the third 5. But when they come back in training camp, they're going to be a completely different player too, because they have an opportunity to sit back, digest, reset, learn from everything, be intentional in the way that they work all summer, and grow during the course of training camp too. So it's an ongoing process. It doesn't just happen. You don't just snap your fingers and be ready to play. But that's part of having a deep roster, having competition, having the opportunity to get all these guys reps. Really beneficial here as we go through spring ball.
Josh, Joe kind of stepped into the spotlight at the end of last season. Now that this is a new team, new season, Hendon's gone. Has there been any difference in him and how he goes about his business, or is he pretty much the same guy?
He really has been the same guy. I said this last year. You could feel his energy and his focus, and he was very intentional in the way that he worked. He had a voice inside of our team. When he got his opportunity to start on the back end of the season, I spoke to those things before, the Vandy game and before the Orange Bowl. The same is true today. You hear his voice more often, because certain guys aren't here that were in some of those leadership roles. But that's true for a lot of guys in our roster. And I've been really proud of the way that Joe's worked here. He's hyper competitive and intentional in trying to become the best that he can at his craft, and at the same time push and pull his teammates to compete at a championship level every day.
Josh, what have been your first impressions of Dante Thornton, and how do you think he can help with the team over just the continuation of the offseason?
Yeah, just he's long. He's got great speed. He's got experience. He's mature. He's got great work habits. And he's a guy that is constantly up here in the meeting room, but also doing things in the indoor and trying to become the best that he can. And he's got some position flexibility. Can play inside. Can play outside. How quickly he grasps what we do offensively. It's going to be one of the keys for him as we go through the spring, but really excited about who he is and what he's brought to the table so far.
Yeah, Josh, following up on Joe Milton, obviously he finished last season after the injury to Hendon as your starting quarterback. How comfortable are you with him in that role?
Yeah, I believe Joe will be ready to play at an elite level. There's competition at every position. I've said that from the time that I've got here. I don't care how you were recruited, if you were a walk-on or not. You started a game or a year ago, it doesn't matter. It's about who you are today, and that's why you got to be very competitive in everything that you're doing, intentional in the way that you work. Believe Joe will be ready to play at a really high level, but there's going to be competition everywhere.
Josh, you got 4 offensive tackles that have started in Power 5 football. How do you go about solving the riddle of offensive tackle? Who plays right? Who plays left? How much do you experiment this spring? How settled are you this is a right side guy, this is a left side guy, even at this point?
Competition, grade them every day, and then you find the right way to put the jigsaw puzzle together of the 5 guys and who you're going to need to be able to rotate and play behind them as well. And so we're one day into that riddle, but I do like who they are, how they've worked, how they've responded. Excited, obviously, in a couple of days to get into pads and see these guys go to work.
Do you feel like all of them play either side, or is somebody a left side guy?
I feel like they all have position flexibility.
Josh, how important is quarterback and wide receiver relationship build-up during these 15 days?
It's important. Our guys spend a bunch of time in the off season too. That's during the course of winter and during the summer too. day 1 of spring ball to day 15, man, we should make a ton of improvement, fundamentally and becoming more in sync in what we're doing. That process is going to be ongoing, though, up until we kick off and even throughout the course of the year. But the amount of reps that you can get certainly helps push yourself forward, and in what we do offensively, that's extremely critical.
Defense made a huge step last year. Still some growth to be done there.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like the defense can grow the most, and specifically in the secondary? What does that group have to do differently this spring and in the fall camp?
Yeah, we took a big step. Some of that was just regaining the personnel that you need to go compete, and then another year in the system, and fundamentally being better, and then tackling in space. Made a huge jump in the run game defense. Obviously, we need to take another step in pass defense and third down defense. But that doesn't just strictly correlate to the secondary, right? That's your second level defenders. It's your frontline guys that may be dropping into zones off of your pressures. At the same time, it's also getting to the quarterback with 4-man rush, and so all those pieces got to come together to help us take another step. Believe in who we have, both from coaches and personnel, that we'll be ready to take another step as long as we work and compete at a championship level.
Coach, how do you feel like Coach Halsley is developing as an offensive coordinator in his early tenure?
Yeah, Coach Halsley will do a fantastic job. He's been a leader for a long time. He's been instrumental. We've been together 15, 16 years. We work hand in hand really well together. Able to have easy conversations and have hard ones too, and at the end of the day find what's best for us offensively. Players have great trust in him. Coaches do too. It's been a really easy transition.
Josh, when freshmen and even transfers get in here for the first time, do you expect that some of them are going to be discouraged picking up the offense, the speed of the game and all that? Is that something that you're going to have to deal with talking to guys?
Yeah, I don't think discouraged is the right word. I don't think and hope and feel that that's right for anybody inside of our program, right? It's an ongoing progression, and so I don't care offense, defense, special teams, skill spot, big bodies, understand the progression that it takes, and so we're pretty systematic in how we teach it, the opportunities that they get in the lead up until live reps. That's before we get to spring ball. It's during the course of our 15 practices too, and at the end of the day, we got great teachers. Talking about our coaching staff, guys that are able to help these guys understand the why behind what we're doing, being really clear and their teaching progression, and develop them fundamentally. Eyes, hands, and feet, and so be very urgent in what you do here, every single rep, every single day. At the same time, be able to reset and move forward.
Josh, you guys brought everybody back from last year at cornerback. You brought in 3 pretty highly regarded guys and a transfer. How important was it to add some more competition and give you guys more options at that spot?
Yeah, important for us. Depth was an issue. Some of that was just injuries a year ago, and all of those guys being able to have the reps to make the growth that you want individually and collectively as a unit. And then, our lack of depth played out during the course of the season with those injuries. And so competition, depth, all those things, we got to stay healthy throughout the course of spring. We need these reps for us to take another step, but certainly extremely important for us.
In the back here, with Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt off to the NFL, who do you see stepping up at that wide receiver position?
Yeah, year 1, the question was wide out. Year 2, after the departure of Velas, it was wide out. Believe in the young guys that we have in our program. They got to grow, and then they got to take advantage of their opportunities when they come. But believe, in the guys that we have here, and we have some vets that have played a lot of football, that have played really well. We got some new guys, young guys that are going to get more opportunities here. Believe we'll have guys that will step up and be ready to play at a really high level.
Josh, I think we talked before about Cam Selden, just sort of what he can bring. What's your plan with him this spring? Do you guys plan to move him around? Will he kind of stay in the backfield, or what's the approach there?
Yeah, we'll start him in the backfield. That's where he's going to get a majority of his work. His skill set allows for him to do different things. We'll, increase his exposure out on the perimeter, intentionally throughout the course of spring, but kind of start at spoon-fed and kind of grow from there. I think it's important for him, just all the things that take place at the running back position. Obviously, your run game, your run schemes. He's going to understand some pass concepts because of them being involved in it, but then the protection part of it, I think it's important that he starts there and then is able to grow from that starting point.
Thank you.
Guys, have a great day. Who's going to New York? Jeez. You need to go.